And we're back with the third episode of the Hypercast. The whole gang is here today, so if we could all introduce ourselves. I'm John.
Kyler.
Issa.
Natie.
And we're going to talk about The Social Network, directed by David Fincher, screenplay by Aaron Sorkin, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, Armie Hammer. Yeah, Rooney Mara. Justin Timberlake. Yeah.
JT.
So do we want to give our quick non-spoiler opinions before we kick everyone else out?
I thought it was a well-done movie. I wish that there was more at the end. I thought that it was like Zodiac. I thought it was...
Non-spoiler.
I'm not spoiling.
Well, you started with talking about the ending, so...
Okay, I'm talking about the length of the movie. It was very well done, and it left me wanting a little bit more. But I thought that where they ended it was great, so it was a pretty good movie.
I got mixed feelings about this movie, because objectively, I can recognize it's a good movie, but I don't know, there's something in me that's like, did we like it though?
Subconscious is talking to itself.
Always.
Do I like this?
I felt like there was a lot of action in it. You're never really bored, even though I personally was bored somehow, which was very confusing of an emotion.
I felt that.
But there's always something going on, so objectively a pretty good movie.
Yeah. I would highly recommend this movie. I think it's definitely one of the best movies of the 2010s. Great screenplay. Obviously, Fincher's great. Go see it. I think we would all tell you to go see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't seen the movie, leave, get out,
Poor flavor.
and come back after you actually pause this, leave this on your laptop, go watch the movie, and then come back.
We'll wait.
We'll wait.
Okay, I'm done waiting.
No, I'm
Yeah,
waiting.
so
We're waiting.
we're
Hold on.
waiting. We're waiting.
Got it.
Okay, welcome back.
Oh!
This is now our spoiler section. So I guess anyone have something they want to start off with?
Let's get to it.
Anybody have I want to start off with this.
We can start off with the scene that we keep talking about. The drop the.
Oh,
With
yeah.
JT, where we first officially meet him. We met him in his apartment, when he first found out about Facebook. But this is where they all meet.
Who are you? Sean Parker. Haha, very funny. The Sean Parker from, what do you do?
Napper.
Napster.
Napster. Yeah.
I'm a napper.
Me too.
Oh my
Napster's
god,
a
I
different
just
thing.
I just slept with Sean Parker. Technically you slept on top of me.
Yes.
And then he
Ooh.
finds Facebook. That's how I found Facebook. There's a snake in here! Where?
And he almost kills the poor girl who's still in the shower.
I could have died.
I could have died.
How? Water slipped. So yeah, and then they meet up at a restaurant.
Oh, also, sorry, side point. Who gets their university, who gets university underwear?
I don't know.
They were shorts.
Were they shorts?
No, they were underwear.
No, it was underwear.
Was it underwear?
It was definitely underwear.
But who gets, their name,
The name of the school in the back of the...
I'm gonna go get Harvard underwear.
I don't know. It must be an Ivy League thing.
Ugh. Gross.
It was Stanford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Stanford.
You get on Amazon right now?
Yeah, I'm checking.
No, don't get...
Yep, you can find them on Amazon. I'm not going to click on that because I don't want that in my search history. But
sure.
Well, no.
Gross.
Well, here's the thing.
that would be a weird thing.
That would be a
in
really
search
weird thing to
history.
buy.
Well, the thing is, if you think about,
Especially
Ivy
'cause I don't
Leagues,
go
Ivy
there.
Leagues are, low-key a cult. So, you will buy anything and everything from an Ivy League if you go there.
Depends on
I
who you
think
are.
we should get away from the discussion of Ivy Leagues being cults and go back to the movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go down a
That
cult
rabbit
rabbit hole, to be honest. At least not until we talk about The Master. But that's not...
Ooh, we're going
Let's not get
That's
ahead of
cult.
ourselves.
That's
Yeah.
culty, isn't it?
But
Anyway, yes. So they're at the bar, the restaurant, and JT walks in, Justin Timberlake.
Sean Parker.
Sean Parker walks in. Sorry, it's JT. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I know you, Sean Parker. And they're all high-fiving and be like, hey. Stuff like that. He's you can tell that he's really popular and really good with people. And he's got really good people skills. People skills, not peeper skills.
That would be bad.
Whoa.
I mean, he is kind of a.
No.
Isn't it implied that he's a pedophile?
What?
No.
No, it's
No,
implied that he.
not like a pedophile.
It's implied
pedophile,
that he
like-
sleeps with like girls who are barely of age.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So
That's-
borderline pedophilia.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'll move on from that.
Moving on.
Huh.
Go on, Maddie.
So anyway, they're. Yeah, it's fine, Issa. Yeah, so anyway, they're at the restaurant and, so, really don't know what am I talking about? So there they meet the three people, Andrew Garfield,
Eduardo Sav.
Eduardo,
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, and
Um,
Eduardo's girlfriend, which I don't know why she came. Like, what was the point?
I think
she got the meeting.
she's the one that
Just
got
come
them
on.
there. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. She was the one who set up the meeting with.
Sean Parker?
Yeah,
I think. I'm not sure.
yeah,
Sure, let's go with that.
yeah. We'll go with that because no, it was that.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Christy.
Christy. There we go. So they're at the meeting and like Mark Zuckerberg's completely attached with Sean Parker. Like, yes, Sean Parker like helped him before with Napster, but like
He's just spewing everything Mark wants to hear.
he's hanging on to every single word.
He like pulls out the exact same. Facebook is cool right now. That's what it's got going for it. That's cool. You don't want to lose that coolness. And Mark's like, oh my
That's
god.
what I
It's a
said.
genius.
Exactly.
You know, Eduardo's like, oh god.
He's looking at more of like an outside perspective. He's like, yikes.
I
he's
want
getting...
money.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Which makes sense because he
Because
is
the
the one
business end
who's,
of it.
and he's the only one who's put money into the business at this point.
Right.
Also true.
Yeah.
He's the only one that puts money into it
Period.
at all.
Yeah. Well, except for an angel investor. Later in
right.
the year with
But
$500,000.
eventually, someone's gonna have to explain to me what an angel investor is.
Somebody who buys into the company without like a lot of. You don't like. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a contract. Like you don't buy a set amount of shares, basically.
Oh, okay. You're just like, here's some money, have fun.
Like you're gonna get some shares, but you're not doing it
For the shares?
like for I want 50% ownership or whatever.
Oh, that's fair. So it's not like, so it's like the opposite of Shark Tank.
Yeah,
Got
not Shark Tank.
Anyways, Natie, continue.
Yeah, so they're at the restaurant, they're chilling. Oh, and Sean's like trying to he's trying to influence Christy and stuff like that by like asking what she wants to drink. So I'm pretty sure
Appletini.
an apple teeny.
All right, 4 Appletinis
Pretty
to
sure
the table.
pretty sure she's underage because she's
They-
talking
yeah.
about like, oh my gosh, are they gonna card us here?
Well, they all are. They're all.
They're all
19.
19.
Yeah.
And so he's like really playing into her to try and get to Eduardo as well. That's what I interpreted as like sort of
Yeah,
like
him
an
and Eduardo are
angle-ish.
always butting heads throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't take it as a trying to get to Eduardo. I took it as a trying to get to Christy.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think as the night went on, it was he could see Eduardo was kind of, but I think at the start he was just kind of like,
Yeah, she's
I want
cute.
to, yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, Brenda's song is pretty cute.
Talk about a non-existent career in movies. That is a strange story.
So,
Brenda
what
song
does
story.
Sean Parker say that we keep thinking about?
Oh, the best part. So at the very end of the
Second
night.
best line in the whole movie.
Second. Okay, second. We'll find out the
Maybe.
first in a little bit.
I'm not convinced on second.
Alright,
Just
anyways, go on.
top
Anyway,
five.
so Sean Parker, I don't know the quote exactly, but he's leaving and he's like, so, just drop the, because at the moment it was the Facebook. So he's like, idea, drop the.
I like how they
Keep
set
it
it
as
up. Too.
Facebook.
It's cleaner.
It's cleaner.
They set it up. They're like, Eduardo's doing a voiceover, and he's like, and then Sean Parker made his only contribution to the company. Drop the.
Which, it was confusing at first when I was first watching the movie, because I didn't know that part, and so I was like, why do they keep calling it the Facebook? Like, that's kind of awkward. And then they went, Facebook.
Because
To
it
be
was.
honest, I didn't know that there was a difference. I was like, I mean,
Well, it's
I've never heard anybody call it the Facebook, but
right.
but whatever.
I feel like the only people I would hear it called the Facebook is like older people that would just like add the in front of anything.
Oh, I have an uncle that's
Like,
like the
the-
Google.
The Google, the Twitter, yeah,
The
exactly.
Google.
Yeah.
The Google, the Twitter, the iPhone, the whatever, the Apple.
Well, I just remember like looking at it on my like phone screen and being like, Facebook at the bottom. There's like not a the in front of Facebook. So anyway, but yeah, so that was one of the most memorable lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want my favorite line now? Is that what that was leading to?
Sure.
Yeah,
go for it.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, I guess it's like the whole monologue, but it's the, sorry, my Prada's at the cleaners, along with my hoodie and my FU flip-flops. You know.
A lot of words can't say.
And then he's like, you better lawyer up, a-hole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything. And that was like, I was like, whoa, Andrew Garfield can act. Then I was like, oh, he was in The Amazing Spider-Man.
He was a good one.
So that was a little disappointing to remember that his career is already sunk. But
My favorite quote's kind of out there.
what's your favorite quote?
It's at the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
So this all starts because he wants to get back at a girl that just dumped him.
Erica Albright.
Yep.
Rooney Mara.
Name. And so she goes, "You're gonna go your entire life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that that's not true.
That's a
It'll
good
be
quote.
because you're an a-hole." And I thought that was amazing.
That whole scene.
It's a
But
good
it comes back
scene.
at the end.
Yeah.
It does.
I guess this is a point I wanted to bring up. The screenplay, which is basically just like the dialogue and the stage directions, is so brilliant. I think it's one of the best screenplays ever written. And the movie starts out, and it's the first scene is almost entirely dialogue. There's almost nothing happening in the scene.
True.
It's
right?
just back and forth between him
But
and Erica.
I've never been so enthralled by such a boring conversation in a movie.
It's a very you got to pay attention to what's happening or else you get lost because of how
Right.
And I love that.
they're portraying Mark Zuckerberg thinking, basically.
Yeah.
out
Right.
loud.
Well, and then the rowing comes back with the twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, it's almost implied that he gets back at them just because of what
'Cause
Erica
they
said
row?
earlier in the yeah. What Erica said earlier in the movie.
Army Hammer.
Yeah.
And Navy Hammer.
She seems to have a lot of influence on him.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like
guess
a
to jump the
lot.
gun here, we already kicked all the people who haven't watched
Yes.
it out, right?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
good.
Yeah, they're out.
Even at the end of the movie ends with him requesting to be your friend on Facebook.
I kind of
So
want to.
even
refreshing.
throughout
And
the
refreshing.
entire lawsuit process, creating the company, hitting 1 million users, he's still thinking about her. And then at the bar when him and Sean Parker are talking. Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I'll come back to it.
Well, and then the bar where they go and get drinks with the ladies afterwards.
Yeah, and he's like,
she's
"Do you ever
there.
think about that girl?" He's like, "What girl?" No, you can't think about that girl anymore, or whatever.
Well, and
And
then
Mark
she's at the
wasn't
bar.
really-
Oh yeah, and then
Approached
she was
her.
at the bar.
That was a
when-
separate bar, yeah.
True.
That was
but-
the bar with the ladies.
Yeah, where they go into the stall.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
I'm telling them the scene. But yeah,
Yeah.
he goes up to her and he's...
She wants nothing to do with him, and
Yeah.
he's here. Still.
He's almost
You apologized,
apologizing.
right?
He's almost apologizing, but he's still not really apologizing
No.
because he can't bring himself to do it.
I also kind of want to know what does he want closure? Does he want her back? Does he want to
I think he wants her back.
rub it in her face that he's
I think he wants her back.
Well,
Because he
that
tried
hurt.
to he
Like,
tried to rub it in her face,
A
but
little
he
bit,
almost
yeah.
didn't really like...
well,
I don't know
he's-
if that was rubbing
I don't
in
think.
her face.
I think it was trying to impress her more than
Yeah.
rubbing it in her face.
Well, and I like that she said that what's on the internet is permanent. You can't take it back.
You
Stuff like
blogged
that.
about me. You called me a word I cannot say in the podcast. Starts with a B, ends with a H.
And compared me to farm animals.
Yeah.
ooey.
Technically, that one never went through.
And then talked about,
Her
size.
Yeah.
Size,
Um,
poor thing.
He's a terrible person.
I
Really, and that hurts. And I like how she put it, like, the internet is permanent. I guess that kind of sort of goes with Facebook as well. How, like, everything on there is permanent and you can't take it back. So, like, I guess that's a line that can be used throughout a lot of time. Like, all of time.
Although he is a jerk, there was one scene where I like him being a jerk, and it's when he's in the board of directors,
That was funny.
and he goes, "You should be thanking me right now," and I was like, "Dang, okay."
You should be thanking me right now. I'm sorry? Yes. What? No. I'm a little confused.
it's like I think I get a little bit of credit.
And then
I
there's
found
that
a bunch of
one
holes.
where the twins are suing him, and he's like, "Mr. Zuckerberg, do I have your attention?"
He's
No.
like, no.
No. Do you think I deserve it? What? Think I deserve your attention? I think you deserve the most minimal amount of my attention. If you guys want to sit on my shoulders and call yourselves big, you have every right to do so. But it doesn't mean I have to sit here and enjoy it.
That's fine.
I like how he's wearing a t-shirt over a button-up white shirt. That was fabulous.
Yeah, the real Mark Zuckerberg hates this movie. Understandably why.
Yeah.
But he said the wardrobe was accurate.
It is. Have you ever seen Mark Zuckerberg? He wears the same thing every day until he's
I
gonna
probably wear
die.
the flip-flops in winter.
Oh my god, yeah. The slides.
And then runs out into the
He
snow.
sprinted into the snow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like what we're talking about is how like he's kind of a jerk. I feel like that was my major turn off to the movie, which sounds stupid because I know it's part of the movie, but like I can't stand it.
I love how the movie...
I've noticed that you get like secondhand
Yes,
embarrassment of people, and then like you empathize with people a lot, so it's understandable that you don't.
I am extremely empathetic to a point where it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I love how the movie... He's a jerk in the movie, right? In the movie, I love how the movie never shies away from it.
No.
They never...
No.
Even when they try to redeem him, they're still shutting him down.
Yeah.
Because at the end, when they pull out the line where it's
No
like...
redemption arc.
a lot of people think you're an a-hole, but really, it's just because you're trying so hard to be. Which, honestly, I think is true. A lot of what he does is so based on, like, these ideas he implants into himself that so much of it feels like anytime he has a sly remark at Eduardo...
That either he implants
always
or
'cause he's
implants
trying
in him.
Yeah. Like, every time
Yeah.
he puts down Eduardo, it's always because he thinks he needs to raise himself up.
And I kind of wonder if what Erica said at the very beginning of the movie kind of helped him. He's like, well, if that's what you think I am, might as well embrace it, you know?
Maybe. Yeah, I
How
just...
realistic is this movie? Because
Yeah.
like Zodiac was realistic.
I mean, same director, so I have to guess pretty
Artistic
realistic.
The one-
liberties, but...
What about the one chick when they're having the trial with Eduardo and Zuckerberg, and she was like the one that was eating the salad? I
Oh,
don't
like
know.
the-
Rashida
the
Jones's
attorney?
character,
Yeah, like what?
the one who's sitting in.
Yeah, was she like a part of real life? Like, is she? Because I feel like her character was kind of just there to, just, I don't know, instigate a little bit. Like,
yeah.
there wasn't really
I don't think it was instigate. I think it was more like
Like,
a conscience character than.
somewhat, yeah, like
So
that.
actually, what I just realized is because a lot of the movie deals with like a court case, and they all sign non-disclosure agreements. Technically, we'll never know if it was accurate
True.
because we never know what happened to those court cases.
Eric-
So you'd have to
Technically,
assume
it can't be
it can't be accurate. Yeah,
Oh.
I just realized that.
So Erica Albright actually doesn't exist per that name.
That makes
Understandable.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because poor thing. But I'm sure
Yeah.
you can probably find his blog somewhere.
sense. Probably
If
not.
you-
It's definitely taken down.
I mean, but
you can find out
internet's
her real
forever.
name.
Yeah, you can find out her real name. But it's just like, yeah. I mean, we don't know how much money Eduardo got. Just that enough.
Well,
that alone.
Yeah,
That's it.
he got over 600 million. I think that was
Yeah.
public record. He got.
That'd be
over-
nice.
Yeah, that'd be a
They
nice
didn't
chunk
say
of change.
Yeah.
How much
I
did the
wish.
Winklevoss twins get? Winklevoss.
I don't think it said.
They did say. They didn't say the Eduardo
They didn't
one.
say Eduardo. I don't
They-
remember.
Winklevi?
The
Winklevi.
I like that. Also, the fact that they got 6, I don't know why that made me laugh so hard because I feel like at the Olympics.
Right, that's so impressive for the Olympics, but it's like, oh.
But like they made it sound like we're gonna be big shots, we're gonna do whatever, and they got 6, and I'm like, you.
I would
could've-
argue that is big shot.
That is. No, I agree that it is.
Oh, for
big.
sure. But I feel like they still wouldn't have gone home very happy getting 6 at the Olympics.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if any person who makes it to the Olympics gets 6 and goes home happy. But it's
As
like
long
you're
as you
so
don't get
happy you're in the
last.
Olympics.
True.
Yeah.
True. I don't know.
I really
There aren't
like.
very many likable characters in this.
I think Eduardo's like.
Yeah, that's.
I like Eduardo.
I think he might be the exception.
I mean, I guess Erica Albright's likable. I don't really see
Mhm.
anything unlikable about her.
No, yeah.
There's also not necessarily anything likable about her either.
Yeah.
I don't know if I.
She's almost kind of just there.
She doesn't have a story arc outside
She
of
almost
Mark.
doesn't have a personality.
Maybe.
Instigator-ish. Like, I don't
No,
know.
I
guess
think her
some of, like,
personality is just that's how any reasonable girl would react in that circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think
I'd
is
be
possibly part of trying to protect whoever the real girl is.
Maybe. I think it's also
Maybe.
like I don't know if like in real life, how much influence the person had on Mark. It could have been that amount. Like, it could have been they used to date, it's over, but it's still, like, never...
I think she was there as sort of like a motivation for him to do well. That.
Absolutely.
So I guess it would just like help move this movie along because as we saw with Zodiac, there are a lot of moments in life where it's just slow and I don't know, a lot of things are not planned like a movie usually is. So I guess some of these characters may have just said lines to help move this along and make it seem more movie-like and give him more of a story plot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that kind of goes with we'll never know if it's an actual story because of how many non-disclosure agreements there are.
Yeah.
And it's a huge company. So, like, of course, I'm
Right.
assuming there was people in there like,
Yeah, it's a big
I
company.
don't know if you can say that. And so I wonder what they had to go through to, like...
Make a movie on Facebook.
Right.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of shady stuff behind there that's...
Facebook, I don't know, actually. I'd have to look into it.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, Facebook owns...
Because it could be like a Gatsby situation where as of 2021, technically anyone can make a movie on Gatsby.
Oh, yeah. That's
the
true.
Nick book.
They're gonna do one.
It's out.
Is it really?
Yeah, my friend's reading it now.
Nice.
Okay,
Next
so
episode. Anyway.
I'm gonna bring up the screenplay. I really like it. Like how there is no like pointless bit of dialogue. There is no like pointless scene. Even the chicken story comes back. The chicken story becomes like important later in the movie, and when they kind of bring it up as this like stupid thing, but then it's brought up
Fish
so
eat
many
other
times.
fish. I didn't think it was a problem to feed chicken.
You set me up. You planted the chicken story. The what? I'm sorry now. What? The chicken story.
The what?
I like how fast it is. I mean, it's the dialogue is so quick.
I love fast things.
Yeah.
That sounds so stupid, but like dialogue that's fast keeps
They're
me
opening
entertained.
the opening scene. They're talking so fast, and it's almost not like how normal people would talk, but it's almost written
Right.
so well that it feels more normal than how anybody would talk in real life.
Also, I feel like that's kind of not those conversations, but like the fast dialogue is kind of how some of our conversations go and our humor goes.
Except nobody talks that fast.
True.
I feel like it kind of fit his character a lot because I would expect him to talk like very fast,
Very
and, like,
rambly.
Nobody,
Yes.
yeah, right, and nobody's talking about it and go blah, 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 and like go on for hours. And I think that's why he thought Erica was so perfect for him because she was able to keep up with that and be able to speak with him while he's going fast and like rambling and speaking.
He almost doesn't keep a thought to himself.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't keep a thought to himself.
He doesn't.
Almost, because I feel like there are some parts that like the fact that Eduardo essentially blew up on him. That kind of shows, that, like he can keep a secret. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say something. Somebody talk while I try to stall.
I feel like he doesn't keep a thought to himself because there are scenes where he just says stuff.
Out of pocket.
I don't know what that means,
I
but
don't
yes.
Sure.
Where he's just like he says stuff that's mean, but he doesn't, and it almost doesn't look like in his face he intends for it to be mean. Like
at
he just
the
says, like-
like at the one thing with the Winklevosses and the other dude, he's like, we talked about this already, where he was like, no, I don't really, you're gonna waste my time.
Yeah.
Like
If
he's
you
just
wanna-
kind of talking.
If you want to stand on my shoulders and act big, you have every right to do so. It doesn't mean I have to enjoy it. I feel like he doesn't. He's almost like It feels like he almost feels like if he doesn't like say something or say something mean or be a a-hole, like he's not happy with himself almost. Like if he isn't constantly putting himself above others. It's almost every single conversation that he has with Eduardo, he's putting him down at some point. At the
See, in my head, I
fraternity.
can't tell if it's like him just not being able to socially interact. Because in my head, I can see it as either, yeah, he's a jerk, or yeah, he just has zero social
That's
skills
what I kinda
whatsoever.
It's like the missing social skills.
I feel like it's both though,
Yeah.
because it's
Which then also leads me to believe, like, did he mean to screw over Eduardo?
yes,
Or did...
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, he definitely did. Well, I don't think he set out like making the business, but definitely Sean Parker easily manipulated him.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he was.
Well, yeah, at that point.
Yeah. So by the end of it, he was definitely trying to screw him out of it. But I don't know if he ever, like... if it was ever his own idea.
Question. So do they
Question.
purposely move across the street from Sean Parker, or was that just happened to be? Because I'm part of me
Sean
thinking
Parker
that, like, that
did
was
not live across the
purposely.
street. He was staying with a female.
One of his
Yeah.
flings lived across the street.
Oh, so that was on accident,
Yeah.
and it was just meant
Well,
to be.
Yeah, that was my only complaint with the entire movie was when they
Yeah, like that just
when they
happened.
threw the bottle. No, I don't care about that. When they threw the bottle,
What?
and then like it cut to the camera, and then you saw it shatter. I just didn't like that.
What?
Huh?
The way I can't
They
think
threw
of
the
what you're
first
talking
bottle,
about.
it hit the wall, it cracked, right? And then he throws the second bottle to the girl, but it hits the
Oh.
camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
My kind of theory with the Sean Parker thing and like him being across the street is just kind of like he's almost like stalking Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Because he
That I can
knows.
see.
Because he knows it's gonna be a big thing, and he
Yeah.
wants. To
I couldn't
have-
tell if that was implied or not when they opened the door to talk.
I
Like, I
think
can't
it's-
tell if they were trying to imply that
I
he
think
meant
it's-
to be there
yeah.
or if it was like actually an accident.
Right.
I think it's implied just through like his character, like how they describe his character, kind of.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of funny that Sean Parker's super paranoid about like everything, and if someone's following him, and if someone's not following him, or whatever, and if he has to owe someone money, but he's kind of stalking Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Right. And when he sent Zuckerberg into this big board meeting in his pajamas and a robe and slippers,
Yeah.
That's so funny.
tell him
them
to.
Sean Parker says, "F you," or
Yeah.
It was basically that, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, and then Sean Parker flips off the building. We never saw the board meeting. We didn't see it.
I really
what
wish we
happened.
would have seen the board meeting, to
I
be
could've-
honest.
I'm glad we didn't. I'll be honest.
I would have gotten a lot of secondhand embarrassment from it.
I don't know. I don't think it really fit in the movie.
It would have dragged
It's
on the
true.
movie, but I think it would have been funny.
Well, it would have been
It's
like
It would've been funny to
would've been
watch.
Would have been like
yeah.
a 30-second scene. It wouldn't have.
Well, yeah.
We don't know if it might.
It would have been unnecessary.
But I think it's
it would've
almost
been funny.
like that entire scene is just kind of like to show how far Zuckerberg is willing to go to follow Sean Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably sees him as like a mentor. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you did something.
You helped my first app.
Yeah.
What?
Zuckerberg didn't have anything to do with Napster.
Zuckerberg made Napster.
No.
Yes.
Sean
No,
Parker.
Sean
made-
Parker
Sean
made
Parker made
Napster.
Napster.
Zuckerberg has something to do with Napster.
No.
No.
I'm pretty sure. That's what he
No.
said at the beginning. He was like, I coded
No.
something for Napster.
No.
And
No,
then
he
Sean Parker
coded
picked it up.
something for a different app that he made that Microsoft wanted to buy, but that he
And then
didn't
he
sell.
gave to Microsoft for free. And then he was like, huh, it's Napster.
He made it free. It wasn't
No.
Napster. It was something else. I just don't remember what it
I
was.
remember it because you said that you wanted it, and then later we were like, oh my gosh, it's Napster.
What?
What?
Yes!
I know
No.
I know what you're talking about. But
Sean
it was
Parker
like
and Mark Zuckerberg are not connected until
Yes.
until they met. No.
until they met.
No, they weren't.
No, because Napster.
No.
I'm here. Right
At
here.
least in the case of the movie, which is what we're referring to.
In the case of the movie, no, they are not.
Because that's when he heard Zuckerberg.
In the
like,
case
when
of
he
the
was at
movie,
chick's house, he was
Zuckerberg-
like, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, but they had met before.
They had not met before.
Yes, they had.
Are we
Tell me
talking
exactly
about-
what you're talking about then.
It's just okay. I know what she's talking about. It's the scene where she first meets the Winkleby, and then that he made something that
The
Zuckerberg
music where you
made
can
a
find the music for free.
music.
That's
for,
Napster.
That's Napster.
That's Napster.
But it
And
was
he's
a
like,
different.
yes, I
no, but
made
it was a different.
No, it wasn't a
thing.
music thing.
It wasn't.
Yes,
was it
it
not
was.
music?
Yeah, because I remember you saying
no.
that you wanted to see music.
I wanted
and you're like, what is
something,
that?
but I don't remember.
It was music.
No,
because
because
it
when we
was-
first meet Sean Parker,
it
he
was when
talks
you-
about creating the music app.
It was
and
when
he's
you
like,
download
it's
the
a
music
place
for
where you can
free,
find
said,
in-
that sounds cool,
Hmm.
and then you're like, huh.
No,
it's
I know what you're
nice.
thinking about. You're mixing dialogue with the scene. When we first meet Sean Parker, he doesn't say he invented Napster. He says something and then she's like, that kind of sounds like Napster. And he's like, it is
exactly
Napster.
like Napster.
Yeah. That's when that happened. No.
No.
That we just
That is.
I just
that is Sean
explained-
Parker.
That's what
I
I'm
just
talking
explained
Sean
why
Parker
that
made
wasn't
Napster.
true. Okay, well Nadia's wrong.
We'll figure
We're
that
gonna
out.
move on. We've already figured it out.
I'll figure out what it is. I'll look it up.
It was just like a class sharing app. Or
It was that's what it was. It was class sharing. It was course sharing. That's what it was.
Yes.
So you could
Yes.
see what classes your friends were taking, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep. You can look up who
Wait,
invented Napster and
You
it's not
you
Microsoft.
have the dialogue.
Yeah, it's 162 pages.
All right, it's not
Give me
that
a
far
second.
down.
Anyway, continue. Someone talk about something else for a second.
I don't know why you're looking it up. You can Google who invented Napster, and it'll say Sean something. 'Cause I don't
Parker.
think they used his
It
real
is
name.
Sean Parker.
Is
Well,
it?
I'm looking at the dialogue.
Well, I don't know
Wait
if
a
they used
second.
Sean Parker. I don't know if Sean Parker's a real person.
Yes, I just looked him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He founded Napster.
Okay.
And
Founded,
first president of Facebook.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Keep going. I'm watching.
I'll talk about the music. Trent Reznor did the score. 9 Inch Nails. I really liked the score. Maybe it's a personal thing, but I liked when they were in the bar, where he tells him, where they have the conversation about the girl, and the music is almost like so overbearing that it's hard to hear him, and I think that's sort of like adding to like Sean Parker's like characterization and personality, that every time Zuckerberg is having a conversation, there's always like when they first meet in the bar, and it's so quick cut you don't actually hear a lot of the conversation, and it's just Eduardo talking over him, and then when they're in the bar and the music's blasting and you can barely hear him over the music, and it's almost like overbearing, and it's sort of like, I guess, adding to the idea that Sean Parker is kind of like manipulating him.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting how much like the slight manipulation comes in.
Yeah. Anybody got anything else? Performances, I guess. Great performances.
None of them felt fake.
Garfield's best performance. Jesse Eisenberg's best performance.
I mean, I believe you. I can't think of the last time I've seen anyone in like I don't think I know anyone in there except that he was Spider-Man, and then Justin Timberlake and is sometimes in things.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield in Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah, he was good in that. I don't think it's as good as this. I'd give that
Who does
one
he
like
play in Hacksaw Ridge?
It's the main
The
guy.
main character.
Yeah.
The dude
Andrew
that can't.
Garfield is Eduardo, right?
Yeah.
He's the dude that can't shoot guns in Hacksaw Ridge.
He's
Yeah.
the
Oh, I see it
He's
now.
the
Okay,
medical
yeah,
guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Takes me a second.
army medic. Yeah. I like the performances. Great movie. Got nominated for a lot of Oscars. As time has gone on, controversial Best Picture loss. Yeah, I know you guys. I know the rest of us care about it.
Oh.
King's Speech. I would give it to The Social Network.
They're both good movies.
I'd say The Social Network is a phenomenal movie, and The King's Speech is a good movie. It won 3 Oscars, so I'm gonna find out what those are right now.
All right.
Best Writing for Screenplay. Big shock there.
Big shocking.
Not shocking.
The
at all.
dialogues.
Actually, easily one of the best screenplays ever. Best Achievement in Film Editing and Best Achievement for Score. So Trent Reznor, 9 Inch Nails. I brought up the score. What do
So
you mean?
everything you just talked about.
How convenient.
I feel proud for
knocking it out of the park.
for agreeing with the Academy, I guess.
Okay.
That is one thing
boy.
one thing
Congrats.
you will never hear again come out of my mouth. Agreeing with the Academy. Do we want to give our ratings plus justifications now?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
John,
the first.
you Start. Or
Nope.
Kyler
Ladies
start.
first.
Natie, Issa?
I'd say I'll give it a 7. Good movie. Awesome dialogue. But I guess it might just be because of my like empathetic nature, but I really couldn't. There was just moments when like Mark Zuckerberg would just exist, and I'm like,
You need a good
no.
guy. You like movies with a good guy.
I do like movies with a good guy, and I liked Eduardo a lot.
I get that.
But
My dad
it was
needs
just-
a good guy in a movie.
And like it was just for him to be like, no, Eduardo's my best friend, and then also
His only friend.
his best friend, his only friend, and I'm gonna screw him over for this guy who's just essentially saying anything I want to hear, really messed with me. And it was just they immediately introduced him as a jerk, and it just kind of ruined the character for me. And I understand he's the main character, and I guess that made it hard for me. But also, there were moments in the movie that I was just like, this scene doesn't feel necessary. Let's move on. So, overall, really good film, but it was missing something for me.
I'd have to give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was better than some movies that I've seen before, and so I thought it did a well job of presenting Mark Zuckerberg and making us realize and know what is going on and stuff like that. I would have to contrast that. I thought that every scene did sort of had a purpose. Like, I was thinking through it, and the one part where they're ziplining and the chimney falls, I was like, there's no way they're ziplining into the pool.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, there's no way that had anything, like, that had any purpose, but it did have a purpose because it brought, I almost said Justin Timberlake, it brought Sean Parker over to the house, and so I guess that had a meaning as well, and so did, I don't know, I thought a lot of it did have a meaning, and it would relate back to other parts of the movie, and so I thought that was very important, and
Also to show how, like, unlike a business, their entire setup is.
Right.
How much that goes against
that,
Eduardo.
Oh, that was... I felt so bad for Eduardo when he, like, shows up in California to go and, like, try and do the work.
Rain.
And then, yeah. But anyway, I thought it was an 8 out of 10.
What?
I think the only...
What are you doing here?
I think the only...
to the airport, man.
Oh, boy. The only thing that I don't know, I didn't like about it was, I don't know, the ending was kind of abrupt. I thought there was going to be more. Like, when the words came on the screen for,
Did
like...
we talk about the ending?
No.
We didn't.
When the words came on the screen, I was like, oh, it's over. I thought there was more. But, yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
Okay.
Tyler or John?
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10,
Oh,
which is
the
higher than I
rating went up?
originally thought.
Interesting.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't like it just because it's not a movie that I necessarily like.
It's not a war movie.
It just bothered me that, like I did like the people in it, and I'm like, I don't like jerks, so the fact that the entire movie was based on Zuckerberg being a jerk bothered me a lot.
Thank you.
But it was still a very good movie, and I was captured the entire time. There was always something meaningful happening on the screen. It was a good story. Like Natie said, the ending was semi-abrupt, but I can see why they did it, so I'm not too upset by it. Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna shock the world here. Give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah,
Wow.
honestly, it's a pretty perfect movie in my opinion. One of the best screenplays ever written. Fincher kills it with the directing. Easily his best movie. The performances are on point. The score, everything. I think the more movies you watch, the more you realize that terrible people make better characters, so you just gotta get over it. So at some point, I got over it, and I can sit through a movie of terrible characters,
Oh, you really just had to fire shots at me.
and I can love the movie.
Yeah, you really have to do
I
that.
think I fire a shot at shots
just
at
kidding.
all of you. I love the ending. It's for me, the ending might be abrupt, but it almost has to be, because it's not. The story isn't over. This is
Right.
how Facebook was founded, and this is the result of something being created, friendships being absolutely destroyed,
Demolished.
Spider-Man going off on Lex Luthor, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that the ending, it's kind of like I was gonna relate it to a movie that came out after this movie, but I don't want to do that because it feels cheap. But he's almost like staring into the camera, and you see like this broken man, but it's such like a mundane task he's doing.
Constantly refreshing
The page.
tab.
Yeah, but he just needs something. So he keeps
Yeah.
refreshing, and he keeps refreshing, and nothing happens. And you're expecting it to cut, but he just keeps refreshing.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
You're saying that. It's reminding me of when me and you sit down after we post a video and go through all of our social medias and we're like, why is there nothing? There's nothing here.
I felt that.
Yeah. So our ratings went 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's funny.
They did average of 8.5. So as a group, we rated it as a great movie. Right? 8. Yeah, that's like great.
Yeah, that's great.
That's our highest combined movie right now.
Currently.
So that's our number one movie. American Psycho got 7.5, thanks to yours truly. Giving it a 10. And Zodiac got a 7.17.
Yeah.
So out of 3 movies, that's the best one right now.
Technically, we've watched another movie that's been rated higher than it, but we won't tell you that now.
Dun, dun, dun. You have to figure that one out.
We watched it, but we're not going to tell you that we watched it.
We won't tell you which one it is.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll never find out. Until we post the episode, and then you'll find out exactly what movie it is.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, wow, they're so cool.
Wow, didn't see this coming.
What?
Because you wouldn't. There's no way you could find out the movie out of millions of movies.
You know something that confused me about this movie? How it kept bouncing from present day, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, to
like what was happening. It took me a good 10 minutes to figure out.
It took me a second too, and I usually get it pretty fast.
These are lawsuits.
Yeah.
Because they kind of did it at the same time where he went to the board, so I thought he was still at the board. I'm like, what? He's still at the board.
Yeah, I like it just because it's kind of like it's just a way to. You right there?
It explains.
I had a shiver.
Oh boy! It explains the movie more.
Yeah.
It helps make it clearer.
Oh, it's definitely a fresh take on it. It just took me a minute, man.
Again, it shows I think it's very impressive how they can work the boardroom scenes in and make them feel actually important.
Oh yeah.
Rather than
Yeah.
just kind of there.
It helps argue their cases as well, especially Eduardo's side versus Zuckerberg's side. It helps
Oh yeah.
the audience themselves be like, wow. Both, man.
It doesn't make narration feel cheap, which is hard to do sometimes.
Yeah. It's like a roundabout way to do to narrate the story.
I'm gonna say something just because I'm thinking it in my head and I can't actually rationalize it.
Okay.
But I almost feel like it makes it seem like there's not quite a good guy and a bad guy necessarily.
They're just friends.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's just kind
friendship.
a mess.
A lot of gray area in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Closing remarks, anyone? Well, I guess.
Go watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
Go watch other movies.
Also watch other movies. Make your own.
But only watch the movies that we're going to talk about so you can watch our episodes.
Right, and you can criticize us.
I think we just had the same idea.
I was gonna say, should we post the movies that we're gonna do beforehand so they can watch it?
Oh.
Alright.
We will do that.
I love how we're connected.
We're connected. We're the same person. We're just going to go by...
Matching hats.
Okay, John.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a combination of our...
Matching
John and
university
Tyler.
underwear.
Yeah. We go to Harvard, if you didn't know.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can't prove
Were you
us
sued for
otherwise.
that?
No.
Nah.
Because... No.
No?
No, absolutely not. Because we're not lying.
Okay.
But... Yeah. So this was the 3rd episode of the Hypercast, where Hyperfix does a podcast, and we call it the Hypercast.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was some good logic, bud.
So,
Go follow our
Yes,
Instagram, our Twitter, our YouTube. YouTube's actually the most important. No, it's not. Kind of is.
Yeah.
If you want to see Rocket League or... We do Minecraft soon?
yeah, we're going
We
to do
said
Minecraft.
soon.
Yeah. Are we gonna do
Minecraft.
game beasts?
Maybe.
Re-script that.
We scrapped the one video, but we might do more.
We might.
So that was a mess.
We
We're not
might-
telling them why we scrapped it.
We might teach Issa how to actually play games.
And then...
That would be a fun series. Zombies.
Oh, zombies.
So what are we doing next, guys?
Well, the next video they will see is a gaming video on Tuesday.
Yep.
And then they will see a gaming video on Thursday. And then they will see another podcast on the weekend.
Oh, what a nice
So-
little refresher.
Yeah, if you didn't know, we upload at the exact same time, on the exact same days, within 5 minutes. Right.
Give or take 30 minutes.
Yeah, give or take 30 minutes. Which in saying give or take 30 minutes is saying give or take 2 hours. So,
It definitely has nothing to do with us looking at each other as we're watching a movie and going, "Oh, we have to edit a video."
That never happens.
That never happens.
We're professional YouTubers, actually.
Podcasters.
So anyway,
I guess before we finish, this is the second David Fincher film we've done.
right.
Just like a thing out there. Just gonna put it out there.
Ah, yes, finches.
Yeah.
Birds.
So, we've done 2 David Fincher films.
John's gonna go jump out a window now.
Yep.
Get away from the birds.
Hey, bird. For the listeners that couldn't see, a bird just flew in the window. It's going around, and it's out.
It was a yellow bird, about 7 feet tall. Sometimes hangs out with some other fellas.
A little red man.
Now
A
the
little
green
orange
one.
man. And I don't know
Angry
why
green man.
I'm describing them by colors, because I can't tell the colors.
Wait, you're colorblind?
The green one doesn't take a shower.
I think I've only
very
brought that up
often.
every episode.
Maybe.
You don't take a shower?
No, the
Ew,
green. The
gross.
green.
Gross!
Gross.
The green one.
Oh, yeah.
The green guy.
Green guy lives on the streets.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, Issa.
I'm the trash man.
Okay, to be fair, I've only seen the Spanish Sesame Street, and that bird is green, so it took me a minute.
Oh, wow.
Big Bird is green?
Big Bird is green. Big Bird's
Oh.
name is
Completely
Abelardo.
lost. Completely lost.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
birds.
We
Well,
don't
no.
Momo's still red?
So
Yeah.
Okay, good.
anyway,
We don't know what the next episode is going to be, is it? So I was going to tell them to watch a movie now, but we don't know what it's going to be.
We will post it on our Twitter
We
and
will post
Instagram.
it, but
So keep it.
it's between... No, that's not going to help. I don't know.
No.
What is it between?
Oh, we have no idea.
Eventually, you'll see an episode on
A movie.
Drive, Nocturnal Animals, and
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver.
So
I
yeah.
really thought we watched more movies than that, to be honest.
So please like and subscribe our Facebook. Listen to more of our podcasts.
Our what?
'cause-
Our Facebook.
We don't have that is the one thing we don't
The
have.
only thing we
Oh my gosh! Like and subscribe to
We've
our
just-
YouTube
We've just
channel.
talked
Oh
about
my
it too
God.
much.
Oh my gosh! And then listen to our more of our podcasts because we're funny, right?
You can find our podcast pretty much anywhere you
On
can
any streaming platform.
think of.
Apple.
It's on Spotify and Apple,
Spotify.
so I don't know if you need anything else. And if you're using something else,
You can go on YouTube.
sucks to suck.
All right. Anyways,
Kidding.
that's
It's on
it
YouTube
for
now.
this week's Hypercast.
See ya.